memorialized, but I have no doubt that this is not going to go smoothly. And on the topic of the EU, we have an update. Previously, we talked about chat control. I know I wrote a whole blog post about it for Decentralized Today because everybody lost their collective minds and there was all kinds of FUD going around. That's fear, uncertainty, doubt. For those who don't know, just conspiracy theories, basically. Everybody going around with, they're going to backdoor our phones and blah, 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 blah. And like, that's not at all what it was, but still, it wasn't great, but still, like, realism, people. Basically, the government is in favor of making it mandatory. The headline says, EU interior ministers welcome mandatory chat control for all smartphones. And quoting the article, at the meeting of EU interior ministers in Brdo, Slovenia, the government representatives today spoke out in favor of mandatory screening of our private communications. The article goes on. I mean, this is written by a politician who opposes chat control, rightfully so. But, I mean, yeah, that's basically the story is the government, the EU, for the most part, seems to be all about this and all aboard and wants to do it. Educate yourselves on chat control if you live in the EU, and please speak up to your politicians and the EU Commission and whoever is relevant and let them know that this is a terrible idea. And if you have more questions about chat control, we covered that in a previous surveillance report. We'll leave that alone. We'll go to Australia, where Clearview AI has officially been kicked out of Australia for violating the country's privacy policies. Now, the key word here is officially. This is formal, but it's really unclear, at least to me, how binding this order is and if Clearview is actually going to comply. Because basically, the order was just like, yes, you violated country privacy laws, stop doing that. And based on Clearview's business model, stop doing that basically means GTFO. But they didn't actually say Clearview has 30 days to cease operations in Australia or anything like that. So, yeah, Australia has kind of cracked down on Clearview, but we will see what actually comes out of that in practice. Hopefully, something good. And on the topic of Australia, My Health Record mobile app is set to launch in early 2022. So this is, from what I understand, this is the official health app for all of Australia, and it is opt-in. You don't have to join it, but it's basically just a digital app that you can download that, you know, has all your health records, and you can easily carry them around with you and show them to your doctor or whatever. So yeah, this is just, they're adding a mobile app to go with that system. I don't think you need a mobile app. I think that's taking it a little far. Like, I see the value of having something like this system. I don't know why you need to have it on your phone 24/7, but just something to have on your radar if you're an Australian. With that, we will move north to Seoul, South Korea, who has announced they will be the first city government to join Facebook's Metaverse. On November 3rd, the South Korean capital announced a plan to make a variety of public services and cultural events available in the Metaverse. If the plan is successful, Seoul residents can visit a virtual city hall to do everything from touring historic sites to filing a civil complaint by donning virtual reality goggles. So, yeah, unfortunately, it looks like everybody's real eager to lean into this Metaverse thing. That will not go well. Try to avoid it, Seoul. Please. Please don't do it. Our next story says hackers targeted Apple devices in Hong Kong for a widespread attack. So some background. This story actually applies to another article I saw. Basically, Apple has not been applying security updates equally despite the fact that they are able to. They are only pushing out updates to newer operating systems, even though older ones are capable of receiving those same security updates. I don't know if that's laziness or if that's to try and, like, prod people to update to the newer ones. I don't know, like, because I'm certain they haven't been advertising that fact. So I don't know what the deal is there. Maybe they're just being cheap. But either way, that is the background. That is where we're coming from. So because not everybody's been getting those security updates, it's suspected that these were state actors have been using those vulnerabilities in Macs to track dissidents in Hong Kong, from journalists to activists, and they're looking for things like people who visited pro-democracy websites. Part of this attack actually involved compromising the website itself in a way that, from what I understand in the article, isn't really clear at this time. Like, we're not really sure how they compromised the websites, but somehow they did, and that led to, in turn, compromising the Apple devices that were vulnerable, and now journalists and activists and everybody in Hong Kong who visited these websites are now being tracked. So, yeah, lovely. I guess the defense on that one is just try to keep your stuff updated, because like I said, like, these were outdated operating systems. Like, think of it like how Windows 10 is, you know, now there's Windows 11. So it would be like if Microsoft was not pushing updates to Windows 10, but they were pushing them to Windows 11. So I don't know. Like, I'm not a latest and greatest type of guy, but security updates are important. So if your devices aren't receiving security updates, that's definitely time to upgrade. All right, and our last story, and I can already hear all the conspiracy theorists crawling out of the woodworks to leave their racist comments. Israel escalates surveillance of Palestinians with facial recognition program in the West Bank. So this has actually been rolling out slowly over 2 years. This is not a sudden thing. One part of this program involved the use of Blue Wolf, which is an app that allowed Israeli soldiers to take photos of Palestinians, and that photo would use facial recognition to tell the soldier this person needs to be detained, this person needs to be arrested, or like just let this person go, we don't need anything from them. This app includes photos of children and elderly people, and actually the article explains how they gamified the collection process to basically encourage soldiers to take pictures of Palestinians to like ramp up the database and really get it off the ground quick. So that's pretty screwed up. A similar facial recognition technology was added to various checkpoints and CCTV cameras, and often identifies people before they even present ID. So yeah, that's really invasive, and that's where we're at right now with the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And I will just leave it at that. That was a ton of political news. With that, we're going to go into FOSS, free and open source software, and unfortunately,